Welcome back to our channel. I'm Phil. My co-host here is the lovely Samantha.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are Bars and Barbells.
The difference between the UK, Great Britain, and England explained is what we're jumping into today. Thought this would be an interesting one to do. I have a heritage as well as I was going to call you Sham. That's not your name. Your name is Sam. And
I think you're probably going to say she and Sam at the same
yes.
time.
And
Sham.
she also has a heritage as well as I from the UK.
Yes.
And so this will be cool to check out. I mean, I think a lot of our commenters are pretty passionate about this as well. If you're from the UK, you tend to get a little frustrated when people mix up England and Britain and the UK. So, there might be something that we do where, for example, we've talked about my mom has an English accent, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes people will say they have a British accent.
Yes.
But that's really confusing because Britain can be a few different things,
yes,
as well as the United Kingdom, which I think is an expansion on Britain. So
that makes sense. Because I was just about to say, I understand the difference between England and the rest. Like England is a country, whereas the UK is a greater region than just a country. But Great Britain and the UK sometimes confuse me.
yeah, I think hopefully we're going to find out here.
Hopefully we're clear by the end of this.
I think it's something to do with islands or something like that, but I'm not going to speculate too much.
We're going to find out.
I am interested, like I said, because this is a part of our history, both of us, and we've really enjoyed checking out UK content on the channel. Such renowned history, right? You really see with the UK.
It's really cool to learn about all the culture there.
That they take pride, and you guys take pride in your history.
Yes.
So anyways, let's check it out.
Welcome to The United Kingdom and a Whole Lot More, explained by me, CGP Grey. The United Kingdom, England, Great Britain, are these three the same place? Are they different places? Do British people secretly laugh at those who use the terms incorrectly? Who knows the answers to these questions? I do, and I'm going to tell you right now. For the lost, this is the world, this is the European continent, and this is the place we have to untangle. The area shown in purple is the United Kingdom. Part of the confusion is that the United Kingdom is not a single country, but instead is a country of countries. Yes. It contains inside of it 4 co-equal and sovereign nations. The first of these is England, shown here in red. England is often confused with the United Kingdom as a whole because it's the largest and most populous of the nations and contains the de facto capital city, London. To the north is Scotland, shown in blue, and to the west is Wales, shown in white. And, often forgotten even by those who live in the United Kingdom, is Northern Ireland, shown in orange. Each country has a local term for the population. While you can call them all British, it's not recommended as the 4 countries generally don't like each other. The Northern Irish, Scottish, and Welsh regard the English as slave-driving colonial masters, no matter that all 3 have their own devolved parliaments and are allowed to vote on English laws, despite the reverse not being true, and the English generally guard the rest as rural yokels who spend too much time with their sheep. However, as the 4 constituent countries don't have their own passports, they are all British citizens, like it or not. They are British citizens of the United Kingdom, whose full name, by the way, is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So where's Great Britain hiding? Right here. The area covered in black is Great Britain. Unlike England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, Great Britain is a geographical rather than a political term. Great Britain is the largest island among the British Isles. Within the United Kingdom, the term Great Britain is often used to refer to England, Scotland, and Wales alone, with the intentional exclusion of Northern Ireland. This is mostly, but not completely true, as all 3 constituent countries have islands that are not part of Great Britain, such as the Isle of Wight, part of England, the Welsh Isle of Anglesey, the Scottish Hebrides, the Shetland Islands, the Auckland Islands, and the islands of the Clyde. The second biggest island in the British Isles is Ireland. It's worth noting at this point that Ireland is not a country. Like Great Britain, it is a geographical, not political term. The island of Ireland contains on it 2 countries, Northern Ireland, which we have already discussed, and the Republic of Ireland. When people say they are Irish, they are referring to the Republic of Ireland, which is a separate country from the United Kingdom. However, both the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom are members of the European Union, even though England in particular likes to pretend that it's an island in the mid-Atlantic rather than 50 kilometers off the coast of France. But that's a story for another time. To review, the 2 largest islands in the British Isles are Ireland and Great Britain. Ireland has on it 2 countries, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, while Great Britain mostly contains 3, England, Scotland, and Wales. These last 3, when combined with Northern Ireland, form the United Kingdom. There are still many unanswered questions, such as why when you travel to Canada is...
That's perfect right there. That's a great summary. I wish we could get the little last box there.
The purple.
Yep.
Where it crosses over.
Not going to get it.
It's almost like a Venn diagram. You have this one and this one and then the middle.
It said it was Venn diagram. And so was this something that you were thinking of before we got into it? Does this start to make sense to you now between the differences? Or
yeah, it does make a little bit more sense to me about how Great Britain is more of a geographical thing. We're talking about it's just the largest island. So there's all, like you were saying before we started, it's like an island thing where it's basically referring to this one giant island and the other islands aren't included. And then from a country standpoint, you have the separate countries, but they're part of Great Britain because they're on the giant island. And then they're also part of the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is the country of countries, I think it said.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, they're making light of this.
It's kind of weird because England is a country. Aren't England, Scotland, and Wales all separate countries?
Yeah, they are.
Then United Kingdom is also a country.
No, the United Kingdom is what they're like they're saying here: Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. Right? Those
but
are
what is like the class? Like, what is that?
those are the countries that form the United Kingdom, which don't include the part of the British Isles there, which also include
Republic of Ireland.
right, but also other islands that
Yeah.
were being referred to there. Right. So anyways, it's purposely, I think the purpose of this video highlighting, speaking in double time speed here.
Yeah, he's
that
going really fast.
Going through it so fast to make it feel really, really confusing. And that's why people do generally get so confused with it, because there's so much nuance to it. Then on top of that, another layer that you add is the European Union.
Mm-hmm.
So you have countries within a scope of countries within a group of countries here between, Britain, right, and the United Kingdom that make it so much more confusing as to where they fall into. And then on top of that, you have these islands that are just kind of on their own in some sense, right? So
Well, I think the thing that's confusing to me is because, please, you guys will see, I am no geography whiz, that's for sure. But to me, I thought it was always like, you have things that are smaller than a country, but you have like your country and then you have your continent and then like that's it. So like if you have your countries like England, Scotland, Wales, and so on, why do you need like, and then you have Europe, right? Or like why do you need, I guess they're not part of Europe anymore, right? They're not, they separated
yes, they're part of Europe. That's what I'm saying.
Why did so that's why I don't get it. Like, why do you need all these other classifications?
Because this is what is so confusing about the United Kingdom in general, right? Is that
Why did I think they separated from the?
there's the Brexit thing, right?
Yeah, okay,
But-
that's what I'm thinking of.
But that's I'm not even going to try getting into
Yeah,
that.
anyways.
That's I think different about a difference about what's going on between the United Kingdom. I don't think that's necessarily so much to do with Europe, but I could be wrong. You guys give us insights. This is why we're doing the video, so you guys can give us comments down below and give us more insights.
Just so many classifications.
But the general theme, right, is that like we were saying in the beginning, England gets confused often when people say England is the same as Britain or England is the same as the UK. We can see from here it's
Yeah,
very, very different.
no, England is just a small part
is
of it.
encompassing 4 different groups of
Yes.
people that are very, very different.
Yeah.
Right. And
the people that just care too much about their sheep.
exactly.
I like sheep.
Unanswered questions, such as why when you travel to Canada is there British royalty on the money? To answer this, we need to talk about empire. You can't have gone to school in the English-speaking world without having learned that the British Empire once
It's
spanned a fourth of the
everywhere.
world's land and governed nearly a fourth of the world's people. While it's easy to remember the parts of the British Empire that broke away violently, we often forget how many nations gained independence through diplomacy, not bloodshed. These want-to-be nations struck a deal with the empire, where they continue to recognize the monarchy as the head of state in exchange for a local autonomous parliament. To understand how they are connected, we need to talk about the crown. Not the physical crown that sits behind glass in the Tower of London and earns millions of tourist pounds for the UK, but the crown is a complicated legal entity best thought of as a one-man corporation. Who created this corporation? God did. According to British tradition, all power is vested in God, and the monarch is crowned in a Christian ceremony. God, however, not wanting to be bothered with micromanagement, conveniently delegates his power to an entity called the Crown. While this used to be the physical crown in the Tower of London, it evolved over time into a legal corporation sole, able to be controlled only by the ruling monarch. It's a useful reminder that the United Kingdom is still technically a theocracy, with the reigning monarch acting as both the head of state and the supreme governor of the official state religion, Anglicanism. Such are the oddities that arise when dealing with a 1,000-year-old monarchy. Back to Canada and the rest. The former colonies that gained their independence through diplomacy and continue to recognize the authority of the Crown are known as the Commonwealth realm. They are, in decreasing order of population, Canada, Australia, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Jamaica, the Solomon Islands, Belize, the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Tuvalu. All are independent nations, but still recognize the monarchy as the head of state, even though it has little real power within their borders. There are 3 further entities that belong to the Crown, and these are the Crown dependencies: the Isle of Man, Jersey, and Guernsey. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they are not considered independent nations, but are granted local autonomy by the Crown and British citizenship by the United Kingdom, though the UK does reserve the right to overrule the laws of their local assemblies. Are we done now? Almost, but not quite. There are still a couple of loose threads, such as this place, the tiny city of Gibraltar on the southern coast of Spain, famous for its rock, its monkeys, and for causing diplomatic tension between the United Kingdom and Spain. Or what about the Falkland Islands, which caused so much tension between the United Kingdom and Argentina that they went to war over them? These places belong in the last group of crown properties known as British Overseas Territories, but their former name, Crown Colonies, gives away their origin. They are the last vestiges of the British Empire. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they have not become independent nations and continue to rely on the United Kingdom for military and sometimes economic assistance. Like the Crown dependencies, everyone born within their borders is a British citizen. The Crown Colonies are, in decreasing order of population, Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, the Turks and Caicos Islands, Gibraltar, the British Virgin Islands, Equatorial and Dikelia, Anguilla, St. Helena, the Ascension Islands, Tristan da Cunha, Montserrat, the British Indian Ocean Territory, the South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, the Falkland Islands, the British Antarctic Territory, and the Pitcairn Islands.
Antarctic.
For our final Venn diagram, the United Kingdom is a country situated on the British Isles and is part of the Crown, which is controlled by the monarchy. Also part of the Crown and the British Isles are the Crown dependencies. The independent nations of the former empire that still recognize the Crown are the Commonwealth realm, and the non-independent remnants of the former empire are the British Overseas Territories. Thank you very much for watching.
Lots of information for 5 minutes there. It's pretty wild when you look at some of the flags that are around the world, and you just see the British flag
Yeah.
embedded in so
So
many
many
of
of
them.
them.
And it really highlights the influence, obviously, that Britain had, but how lasting it's been. And even though there's independence there is still the resemblance of that culture and the history that we talked about at the beginning that is so prominent from that area of the world.
Yeah, I think this definitely helped me understand it a little bit more, but it's still just a little bit confusing, I guess. And also trying to understand like the need for all of this. Like, why don't we just simplify it a little bit,
Well, I think that's I guess the nuance which can get overlooked and not
I'm sure
get-
there's a ton of different like rules and regulations and stuff within all of this, but
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like he talked about briefly in here is that there is an authoritative process that allows the Crown to uphold what they view to be right and wrong in the system as a big, that's a grander idea. And maybe it's not as influential now, but previously when, you were trying to hold on to power, that would have been really, really important, right? Have this crown concept that is basically a head of state around all these countries is massive, and it allows you to wield a lot of power. And even today 2025, the king was doing a speech in Canadian Parliament after the new prime minister was elected, right? And you see them, Canada, out of all those countries that were discussed in this video, I think is the I don't even know if you could say it's economically doing great anymore, but in terms of all the countries that were listed, it's the most influential on the world stage, right? But even Canada still is kind of okay, we're gonna defer to the monarchy in some sense still, and this is in 2025 when they obviously have autonomy, but it's just
I guess
really
Australia
cool.
is like kind of on that level too.
That's valid, and I would think I would say, and I think you even mentioned it from population. Canada's just a little bit higher up, right? But it's really interesting just to see, the influence, and like you said, it's confusing, but it's probably been purposely done that way to ensure that there at least is some influence from the standpoint of where the way Britain views things, because obviously I think people like to argue that colonization was terrible, right? But I don't necessarily think it's just that black and white, because I think a lot of these countries were better off because of the British influence at the end of the day, just like Canada, right? So I think that, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, you have this influence and it helps you keep control, but on the other hand, the influence obviously positively impacted culture and development in a lot of respects too.
Yeah, for sure. And I also found it interesting, like on that whole Venn diagram thing, that the only part of that wasn't part of the Crown was the Republic of Ireland, but it's still tied together to some aspect because of the geographical region of the island, right? And that small portion of Northern Ireland is part of the Crown, so it like has to kind of have some tie there because it's so close.
Yep, it is. stuck in that area of the world. So got to be a part of it. So anyways, let us know your insights down below.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting the channel and hitting that like button and dropping the comments. We really appreciate all that support. We wouldn't be where we are today without you. Enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys did as well. Sam enjoyed it. Right?
Yeah, it was cool to learn more about that. And hopefully, with you guys educating us more and more and more, we'll become pros at this.
All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you on our next video.
Thanks for watching.